Wrong is wrong, even if everyone is doing it. Right is right, even if no one is doing it. Hi, my name is Savannah Brock, and this quote has gotten me through a lot growing up. I grew up in a home where I was encouraged to do the wrong thing, even though I knew what was right. And that was challenging for me because I had the Word of God all around me, and yet my lifestyle wasn't following it. When I made the change to following God, I learned a very valuable lesson. I learned that as children of God, we have the promise of blessings when we choose to do what is right in the eyes of God instead of in the eyes of man. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy, but it's okay that way because God has provided us with many, many things to keep us going forward in our walk with Him. Matthew 5:10 is one of those verses that gives encouragement to continue to do what is right even when it's hard. And it says, God blesses those who are persecuted for doing right, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. This verse ties into my story because the home I grew up in was a very abusive home. And so when I did what was right, even though it was hard, it was still the wrong decision and I got punished for it. And it was worse to do the right thing than it was to do the wrong thing. And it just gives me so much hope to know that even though I was treated that way, God doesn't have that for my future. He wants to bless me. He wants to bless you. And the Beatitudes give us hope and encouragement for this because we're all going to face trials. You're going to face trials. Maybe some of you faced them in your beginning of your life. Maybe some of you are facing them now. And maybe some of you are going to face them in the future. I love that the Beatitudes touch on so many different areas in our lives that we will face trials and how they show us that even though we face this bad thing over on this side, God has something good planned for us over here. We just have to get there. What do the Beatitudes mean for you? I believe the Beatitudes are kind of like a crutch for us. Not in the sense that you're broken or disabled or anything, but God didn't create us to walk this life alone. He didn't create us to stand on our own. And so we need these crutches to give us support to continue walking. They give us something to lean on when we get exhausted and we don't know how we're going to make it. And they also just continue to be by us to keep us building and becoming stronger than we were before. I have heard many times that it's so hard to work in life and work for man. And that is challenging. And it's hard to do for God and for man. But I love that Colossians 3:23-24 gives us something to focus on when we feel that harsh, when it's hard and to work in our workplace. It says, work willingly at whatever you do as though you were working for the Lord rather than for people. Remember that the Lord will give you an inheritance as your reward, and the master you are serving is Christ. So we serve Christ no matter what we're doing. So even when it's hard, even when we're persecuted for doing right, even when it's not the easy thing to do, we're serving Christ through it all. And having the knowledge that we're serving Christ and God has great plans for us and blessings for us, I hope gives you the same encouragement it gave me to keep facing every day, one day at a time, and to keep walking forward and doing the right thing instead of the easy thing. I hope you guys have a great week.